What's up, y'all? My name is Giella. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. A lot of my friends who are part of an amazing organization called Jacksonville Community Action Committee, a lot of our rallies are taking place like right in downtown. And I'm just so thankful that my city has grassroots organization that's Black-led, that is predominantly woman-led, and queer-led. And so, yeah, it's really exciting. The next question is, you've noticed in NYC there's sometimes division at the protests over the advocacy for queer bodies, specifically Black trans lives. I'm not really experiencing that in my city. I feel like my city definitely is doing a great job of centering everybody from the margins. Black lives, Black trans lives, Black undocumented lives. I think that's really awesome too, because we are in the South and we experience so much hatred from the police and so much killing from the police. And so I think JCAC is really doing an amazing job of leading the way and making sure that everybody's voice is heard and everyone is brought to the table. What a bigger city can learn from a southern town is really just making sure you're digging into your community. We have to remember to keep saying their names and even looking into your city to see what families have someone in their family who has lost their life to police brutality. Your place doesn't always have to be in protesting. Your place can be anywhere. And I think it's very important that people look into their grassroots organizations in their cities, demand police accountability in your city. And I think that's how we can really change this world. So how am I keeping my momentum going? I think it's really important for me as a Black Latinx non-binary person to keep my joy as contained as possible. It's really hard because it's everywhere. I think for me, making sure to hold my mental space is really what I have control over, and just taking time to pause and take care of myself, honestly, eating all my favorite foods.
Hi everyone, my name is Wendy Mufome. I'm 25 years old. I'm French, Belgium, and Congolese. In France, we also have police brutality. We have these things, it's called contrôle aux faciès, which is mean because you are Black, even if you did nothing wrong, the police go at you and they say, can you show us your ID? Show me your ID just because I'm Black. It's no, my skin did nothing wrong. There is more respect, of course, in 21st century, but we know we are not equal. So I went to the first protest against the police brutality. It was just like a family. We was just against racism, against inequality. And during this protest, it was non-violence. Police start to shoot us with ball things. I don't know what is the name in English. They start to send to us fumigène. It's a thing, it's go in your eyes. I heard someone tell me oh, you have to be careful because Black Lives Matter movement is racial war. I was like, what the fuck? Asking for justice is not a racial war. People just want equality. Say, okay, I don't want people to watch my color first before to watch the fact that I have a lot of things in me. I mean, I'm student in French literature, I'm doing a master, and I love cinema. I want people to see that first when they see me.
Hello, my name is Zoin. I'm 27 years old. I play in Wacko, and I'm from Long Beach, California. Our first protest, which was Sunday, there was a couple thousand people there, and it was cool. We marched for 5 to 6 hours, and everything was peaceful and no problems. And then around a little bit before 7, I was skating through all the looting. I mean, shit, I could have looted myself. I didn't, but I watched hundreds of cops watch people loot for 3.5 hours and not do anything until until there was nothing left, literally. The cops moved in once everything in fucking downtown had been looted. Even the fucking Wells Fargo bank got looted. Like, so that was like definitely the most surreal shit I ever seen in my whole life. Everybody knows the what now, you know, what's fucked up, but we all on the tip of like how we gonna fix it and shit. And you know, it's not fucking school that teaches us about the trickle-down economical struggles that white supremacy America has placed on black people since its history, whether that was slavery or the 13th Amendment or the fucking Tulsa KKK fucking riots where they fucking murdered all the successful black people in Black Wall Street and burned down black banks, ensuring that their wealth would never continue to their offspring. You know, money is power. Fucking black people don't got the money. And yeah, what are we gonna do? I don't know. The whole system needs reform. We played a protest in Long Beach, and you asked how was that? That was cool as fuck. I mean, we always considered our band a propaganda machine before we were a band playing music, and so like doing these being the soundtrack or the score for a protest makes more sense for us than playing, you know, your typical show or whatever. We're only out there because we're fucking pissed off, you know, and our art is our strongest weapon, our music. So, but want to say, yeah, very important to not use these moments as a moment for clout, whether that's you making art that you're selling or clothes that you're selling, or you're a band that's interested in playing a protest. Make sure you're doing it with the right intentions.
Things are changing fast and not always for the better. It's easy to feel powerless in this constantly changing political climate.
It is now more important than ever to use our rights as citizens to enact change.
Calling your government representatives might seem a little scary, but we're here to help.
Why call?
The government is filled with old people.
Calling is the most effective way to have your voice heard. Okay, good.
Here are the levels of participation: calling, letters, emails, and social media complaining.
How to get started. Now that you want to call Congress, there's a general phone number. 202-224-3121. But
we recommend calling your senator's local office first. For example, we live in New York City, so we would call Kirsten Gillibrand at her New York City office.
perfect. Did her visa shoot?
It's useful to find an advocacy group that can tell you who to call. For instance, ACLU. Apps like Countable and FedCaddy keep you updated on issues you believe in and how your senators vote on them.
Here are some useful tips for calling.
Make sure you're calling the right person for the right issue.
Make your own script or borrow a script that's already been made. Keep the call brief. Ranting is not useful. Ask that your opinion be recorded.
This is Representative Boss Bitch's office. How may I help you?
Hi, my name is Jane What's-Her-Face from the Representatives District.
How may I help you today?
Please tell the congressman to oppose the f***ing hatred awful bill that I really disagree with.
Thank you for your call and concern, Miss What's-Her-Face. I'll pass this on to my supervisor. Remember, no matter how old you are, your voice matters.
Even if you've never voted before, your voice matters.
Even if you've never voted before, your voice matters.
It's never too late to start.
It's never too late to start. Now is the time to be heard.
Sounds good to me.
It's our time!
Paperboy Prince, and I'm running for Congress right here in New York, 7th Congressional District.
We're here with
Hi.
Paperboy Prince, and they're running
Hi.
for Congress in the New York 7th District. Hi, Paperboy.
Hey.
Have paper, yeah.
Yes.
It's our time.
Our time.
Have paper, yeah. It's our time.
Time.
Cumgirl8, one love. So happy to be here.
Thank you for being here with us.
Yes, much love to all of you. I'm so excited.
You're a rapper, an activist, an artist, and you've studied computer science and broadcast journalism. How do all of these experiences intertwine with your art and your politics?
Right now, we need more real people that are running for office. Real people that are running this country, because that's what the government is supposed to be. It's supposed to be actual citizens representing other citizens, actual affected citizens representing other affected citizens, you know. And right now, the situation is we have corporate Democrats and we have career politicians that dominate the political arena and not regular people. As an artist, my whole job is to connect with people. I'm a street performer, and a lot of times I'm elbow to elbow with the most affected people in the community. You know, a lot of times I say the homeless community are some of my biggest fans. Where I perform at Myrtle Broadway, you know, sometimes it's only individuals that you know, are homeless that stand there and listen to my music and vibe with me. They know all the words to all of my songs. They tell me what's going on in their life, what's happening in the streets. And they're the ones who've actually pushed me this far, who've actually signed my petition to help get me in office, who've rallied around me when other people looked at me weird, who, you know, have supported me. And that means a lot to me. I know for a fact that our elected officials don't have these same interactions. I know that they...
Yeah.
You have a real community behind you.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, if you're not actually in the community and dealing with these people, you don't know how bad it's gotten. When I spoke with Democratic clubs, and these Democratic clubs basically help to uphold the establishment in New York local politics, and I talked to them with a, you know, kind of an aggressive tone about how bad situations are in Bushwick, in Bed-Stuy. I wasn't sitting there and talking like, we need to do better about... I was like, y'all don't understand what's going on right now in the community.
Yeah.
You don't know, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you know, we need people in office that actually understand technology, that understand social media, that understand, not only understand it, that's literally where I was going, that can see the future of where it's going, because this is going to affect our lives, it's going to affect our children's lives and our grandchildren's lives. And we need to be, you know, leaders when it comes to these issues. So, and then the last thing I'll say to answer your question is that if you haven't applied for a job in 10 years, get out of office. We need people that actually understand what's going on and like have really been affected by it and like aren't just like pretending and then showing up once it's gotten so bad that all the cameras are there.
Paperboy, I know you talk a lot about the future and automation of the workplace and how that relates to universal basic income. Can you tell us a bit of your thoughts about that?
Well, before I take you to the future, can we go to the past real quick?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now you all have all heard of Martin Luther King before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, right. And have you heard of Martin Luther King's "I Have a Dream" speech?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of Martin Luther King's universal basic income speech?
No.
Exactly. So Martin Luther King Jr., while the "I Have a Dream" speech was great and it was historic, after that speech, many times, he was talking about uniting the poor white farmers and black farmers in the South, and that their plight, a lot of it was the same, that yes, we have a lot of work to do, and this is from back then as it relates to racial inequality, but the real struggle is income inequality. He understood that most of the poor people in this country are white, right? most people in poverty in America are white. Now,
Wow.
a lot of times poverty disproportionately affects black and brown people. Overwhelmingly, those in poverty, yes, are white, and it's a class issue. So, and Martin Luther King, now they turn him into they turn him into the guy who was just talking about race and fighting for black people and civil rights, which he was, but he was so much more than that. He was a futurist who often spoke about income inequality, and literally just Google Martin Luther King guaranteed income.
Wow.
And he talked about so many speeches, and you can, if you have Spotify, if you have YouTube, there are Martin Luther King speeches where he goes into the importance of a guaranteed income almost like a politician. He's talking about this is something that's super important that we need in the 60s.
Wow.
In the 60s.
It's not a new concept.
Yeah.
It's not a new concept.
Yeah.
Wow. I had no idea.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
And at this time, he's acknowledging that we're living in the 60s in one of the richest nations in human history. And at that time, we were engaging in war. And he's talking about how we can spend all this money on war, yet we have citizens here that don't know where their next meal is coming from, that don't know where they're going to live. We can fix this. We actually can fix this. And poverty is a problem that is created by our capitalist society. But that same capitalist society can fix poverty if it chooses to. But it has shown that it has no interest in doing that. It would rather benefit from the people impoverished. So that I wanted to talk about the past first, because when we talk about universal basic income, people's like, oh, it's this new idea. It's like, nah, Martin Luther King got killed over this. They're gonna tell you he got killed because of the black stuff, but it's like, no, he got killed when talking about actually a class revolution. He already had black people united. Like, it was nothing else on that level. He was like did it. His next step was like, okay, I want to get everyone united. Let's get this class united. Let's have the middle class and those in poverty united. Yeah. So, and this is a message that that now is just starting to even pick up more steam. So for me, as we talk about the future, most politicians, they're going to tell you more jobs, more work, right? And I'm the only one that I've heard that says, more time with your family, more time with your friends, more time doing what you love. This country, it says in the preamble to the Constitution, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You should be able to pursue what makes you happy. If you have to do so much work, if you have to work 2-3 jobs just to live, you're not actually able to pursue happiness. And our country is failing its job, which it said it would do in the Constitution. So that's where universal basic income comes in, right? Universal basic income is going directly to the problem, and it's coming with a solution. The issue with raising the minimum wage is if you lose your job, you still broke.
Yeah.
If they cut your hours, you're still broke.
Right.
If you're disabled and you can't work a job, or you have a health issue, you're still broke, right? So whereas something like a universal basic income, regardless of all of those things, you would still be able to have that on top of the income that you make. And again, a perfect model for why talking about raising the minimum wage. In New York, they had something called the Fight for 15, where they fought for $15 an hour for every worker as the minimum wage. Now, what happened was, as soon as the fight for $15 an hour started to pick up steam, you started noticing all the big corporations that can that actually could pay it, right? They start investing in other methods. So I live near a McDonald's. It's all kiosks in there. Yeah. Once they had to start paying people $15 an hour, they said, $15 an hour?
The iPads come out.
Yeah.
Okay.
The robots, I don't have to. The robots can be paid $0.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's just such a minuscule amount of their profit margin. It's so frustrating.
Right. And people don't understand that this is coming to every industry. They have
the future.
It's the future. They have robots that can replace many surgeons, and there's a lot of robots that are already doing a lot of surgery. So many high value jobs like doctors can already be, are looking to be replaced by artificial intelligence. So, and none of the politicians are talking about this. Very, very few are talking about this, and now they're pretending like they know, but honestly, they don't know. And none of their solutions really seek to solve this problem or kind of even understand it.
I saw your call to defund the police and replace them with a love force, and I was wondering what exactly that looked like to you. What is the love force?
Thank you for that question. So right now we actually, I've been receiving death threats, and my car has been robbed. Our driver's been harassed. We reached out to the Secret Service in DC and New York and the NYPD to investigate after a while because, the death threats we figured we should start taking seriously. My car was being attacked and vandalized. And there was nothing they could do. They're not your personal bodyguards, right? And the Secret Service, they had no interest in protecting a candidate coming up with the upcoming election, or at least they didn't know much about it. So we instituted the Love Guards, where we had people from the community who said, hey, I want to step up and spread love and make sure that, that you stay safe, that the space stays safe, and that our community stays safe. And so yeah, on a small scale, a love guard is what the love force is supposed to be. And make no mistake, yes, I'm running for office, but the same things that I plan to do once elected are what we're doing right now. We don't have to wait. We're starting right here, right now, putting our money where our mouth is. And we in 2 days, we already have a team of, I believe, 8 love guards. So already have our own private, Secret Service detail, basically. But the mission is completely different, and I'll explain right now when you asked Veronica about the love force. So the love force is the same way how you have a police force. We need to have a love force. Now, first off, I don't like the word police. We shouldn't be policing any citizen. Now I understand there are some times where force needs to be used, and but right now it's overused. It's completely overused, and we have a one-size-fits-all approach to policing. So, if somebody lost their cat, a guy shows up with a gun and a badge. If somebody, had a bad day or something, and they have to call the police because their mom yelled at run away from home, somebody shows up with a gun and a badge and a nightstick. Why is that the only, and the same type of training and attitude? The
same training, right?
Why is that the only type of people we have as our first responders to most issues? The same way how a police force has a gun and can, hit you and fight you, on the love force, there's someone who can hug you and love you and be positive and be able to sit there and talk with you and mediate in situations and meditate with you. And if you need water, they'll give you water. If you need money to ride the train or get something to eat, they're equipped with money just to give out to citizens right there, because they're actually in the community. They see what's wrong.
Yeah.
If you need
and they're looking for a resolution.
Yeah. They're solving the problem.
Yeah, solving the problem instead of creating the problem.
Exactly. If you need health care and they see that, someone there needs health care or they need mental health care, they can help direct you to the correct professional, or maybe their partner is the correct professional. The same way how a police officer has a canine unit, a canine dog that is there to bite you, to sniff out drugs, that's there to terrorize you. The love force has puppies.
Yes.
That are there to brighten your day. Why don't we have it? Like this is simple. Imagine how much people's
immediate reaction.
Yeah.
And it sounds crazy right now, but imagine literally how society would change if instead of our government was focusing on training dogs to literally bite people and terrorize and rip flesh from the bone of black and brown people in this country.
Yeah.
They were raising puppies that were there to spread love and raise the vibrations and make people happy.
Yeah.
The last thing I'll say is, one thing that I propose that I really want to get this policy out there is called the love ticket. What I propose is the same way that you can get a ticket for doing something bad, you can get a love ticket for doing something good. So if you help an old lady across the street and a cop sees it, it's like, whoa, Paperboy just helped the old lady across the street. You know what? I'm writing you a love ticket. Here's $150 for doing something good.
Wow.
If a cop sees you,
Oh my God.
Hell yeah.
picking up trash in the community because it's littered in New York and we have all this litter, and you're just picking up trash, and the cop says, wait, this person picking up trash on Broadway. Hold up. Here's a $75 ticket for picking up trash in the community.
Wow, yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Incentivized doing good shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. If we have positive reinforcement, the next thing you know, you would go to our community and you would see so many people doing good stuff. They'd be in front of the cop. You see me, I'm picking up trash. Then we would have so many people doing good. And then on top of that, these same neighborhoods that are over-policed, that are over-ticketed, that have all of these authoritarian police forces inside of them, these same neighborhoods that are over-policed, they should be over-loved. They had the same way how they have the police quotas with we need to lock up X amount of people in this low-income neighborhood. They should have quotas for we need to give this many love tickets away in this low-income neighborhood, right? And we need to start focusing on positive reinforcement. We need fresh ideas, new ideas, and this is why we need someone like myself, at least in the conversation.
Yeah.
Because right now the people that are inside, they're not having these type of ideas, conversations at all. They're way behind. The beauty of our campaign is, they had no way of seeing us coming, right? I mean, like, I'm an activist and I'm an artist and I'm all these things and I'm a person that many people already know in the community, but they had no thought that I would actually not only run for office, but run a viable campaign. Not only run a viable campaign, but run a serious campaign. Not only run a serious campaign, but win, right? Because we didn't come to just make a statement. We didn't come just to say, hey, we want to run for office. We didn't come to say, hey, look at me, I want to get my name out there. We came to win. We came to make change. We came to change this world and put all these politicians on notice that your time for sitting there being ineffective, your time for not listening to our cries, your time for giving up on this community is over.
That's what we're also going to ask, like, now that there's been renewed energy also in the Black Lives Matter movement and the whole world is paying attention now, how do we keep this momentum going? Because change historically takes so much time. It takes too much time. How do we just keep it going?
To keep the momentum going, we have to stay educated. We have to keep with fresh ideas. We have to keep holding truth to power. And, and we can do that with love. We have to spread love. And I haven't said love enough in this interview, but we really have to spread love. And, I love everyone. I love my opponent. I love Republicans. I love Democrats. I love Black people, white people, short people. I love all people. Hispanic people, Asian people. I love all people. Queer folk, straight folk, cis folk, trans folk. I love all people. Seniors, babies. I love all people. We got love. We're talking about love. We're talking about spreading love. That's one of the main things on my platform is about spreading love, and the power of that. And why have you not heard your elected officials tell you that they love you time and time again? Because they don't.
Yeah, true.
They don't love you. They don't love you. And you need people, the people that are controlling your day-to-day life, the people that are controlling the education for your children, the people that are controlling the healthcare for your parents. If they don't love you, then what type of passion and energy are they going to put into that? And so that's why, for me, it's so important to let people know that love is what's leading us and that love is what's so important. As far as it relates to your question about how do we keep the movement going, education, holding truth to power. I think not getting too focused on leaders. A lot of times we get too focused on having a central leader, having that Martin Luther King, having that Messiah, instead of, the people being well organized and the people being ready to step up, and everyone can lead, everyone can follow, everyone can work together. That's one way we can keep the movement going. Another way is to stay in the streets. We have to stay in the streets. We have to keep protesting. We have to, keep our energy up. You know, we have to stay healthy. We have to stay mentally strong, because we're fighting for something that matters. We can't romanticize and fantasize about the office of the president and about the executive branch. You know, too often we focus on the president Donald Trump, or Obama, or whoever is in that office, Bush. And, you know, these people, while they do have power and they have a lot of power, the whole world is watching them. The people that uphold that power and that will last past presidents are our local elected officials. But the same energy people have for Donald Trump, Donald Trump and all of that, they need to be saying to their city council member, their state assembly member, their state senator. And I don't care if they're gay. I don't care if they're black. I don't care if they're Latino. I don't care if they're a woman. I don't care if they're Asian. I don't care if they're white. They need to be held accountable, because now you're in power, and you know, you need to consistently prove your loyalty to the people. And if that's hard to do for you, then get out of office. You can still love someone and hold them accountable for what they're doing. In fact, that's true love.
That's love.
You know what I mean? Iron sharpens iron, you know? So we have to have that energy. You have to get up every day and prove your loyalty to the people. You don't get to rest on what you did 15 years ago. Because people are dying now. People are hungry now. People are starving now. People are being assaulted now. What are you doing to like stop that?
That's all for this week.
Check out the links below to give what you can.
Stay informed and stay active.
Paper, yeah. It's our time. Thank you so much, cumgirl8, for having me. You can vote for me June 23rd if you're here in New York 7th District. And I love you. I believe in you. This is amazing. You all are so amazing. Much love.
Bye.
So much love.
Bye.